Look at verse number 5 and 6. Ephesians 4, verse 5 and 6.
Let your moderation be known unto all men that the Lord is at hand.
Look, not only choose joy, but continue in prayer. Continue in prayer. Let's read verses 4 through verse 6. Okay.
Be careful for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known unto God.
You know what Paul says here? Paul says, don't worry about anything. Pray about everything. The truth of the matter is, if you don't worry, you shouldn't pray. And if you're going to pray, you shouldn't worry. Some of us are old enough. Everybody in here older than 12? That you've been around long enough to know worry really doesn't work. Let me prove it to you. How many of you have stayed up all through the night worrying about something
Never
that you have to
happened.
face the next day? And the next day it happened. Anybody ever had that happen? All right, let me ask you this. Have you ever stayed up all night worried about something that you had to face the next day?
It never happened.
And the next day it didn't happen?
Yeah.
Anybody had that happen?
Yeah.
You know what that means, don't you?
Word for
The
nothing.
word didn't impact it at all.
Right.
If it don't happen,
Right.
somebody ought to help me. And my suggestion to you is, why you gonna lose sleep? After all, you know the Lord's gonna already be up. He who watches Israel neither sleeps nor slumber. And knows his both of them losing sleep. I'm talking over with him and go and get me some shut eye. All right? Continue in prayer. Continuing in prayer will reduce your stress. You see, the more you familiarize yourself with the bigness of God, the smaller your problems. Your problems are only large when you measure them against yourself.
Right.
Your problems are never large when you measure them against God.
Amen.
And I just said something. Listen, you never faced a problem bigger than a dead Jesus.
Right. Amen.
Are y'all listening to me?
Yeah.
Jesus in the grave, that's a problem.
Right.
That God help you. And if you can handle that problem, if you can get Jesus up out the grave, he can get you up out your mess.
Amen.
Continue in prayer. Choose joy. Continue in prayer. Let me give you another. Commit to patience. Let your moderation be known to all. The Lord is at hand. Listen, God don't always operate according to your schedule. I've been at this for a long time now, and you know, he doesn't check in with you. I try to check in with him, but he don't really ask my permission. He don't say, "Yo, you think I should?" No, he don't talk to me like that. I just have to wait. And sometimes the hardest thing in the world to do is wait. Sometimes the best thing you can do is not. Is any hard charging type A and Apple personality in here? That's me. I promise you that. Sometimes the Lord just has to break you down and show you it's too big for you. You see, if you could handle it, you'd already be heaven. Right? Since you can't handle it, you ought to just wait on the person who can. Commit to patience. Okay? Here's another one. Consecrate your thinking. Consecrate your thinking. But Paul says that there are some things you ought to concentrate on. You ought to think about what you think about. See, I just missed it. You ought to concentrate on what you're concentrating on. As a man thinks in his heart, so is easy. Look at verse 8. Verse 8. Someone nice and loud.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things.
But Paul says, you need to be careful about what you think about. He says, if it ain't true, don't think about it. You ever heard somebody come to you and say, look, I don't know if this is true.